All right, I think everybody's muted and we'll get started. So let's start today on our backs in Shavasana for a few moments of centering. All right, so we want to bring ourselves to this moment.
You're down here.
So you're on your backs. Get some space between the legs, let the feet fall open. Arms are at your sides, palms are turned upward, right? So you want to have that little rotation here in the wrist, right? So to help with that, you can tuck one shoulder blade and then the other beneath you. Kind of let that help the rotation. Get a little bit of length to the back of your neck. Just close your eyes. Start to bring yourself into this moment, focusing on this moment. Noticing the movement of your breath at your nostrils, the movement of your breath at your belly, just lying down on your back. Start to tune into your 3 anchors of mindfulness. Beginning at your breath, the natural flow, let it just happen. We're not controlling it yet. Let it find its own natural rhythm. Then take a moment to scan your body, head to feet. Noticing any sensations there. You might notice whatever you're feeling in the muscles, the joints, the bones of your body. Maybe begin to notice your heart rate. Maybe notice your energy level. Then finally, that 3rd anchor of mindfulness, which is the mind. The quality of your thoughts, your emotions. Then after checking in with those areas, let's allow some time for our breath to give attention to the areas that need it. Allow your full breath to bring energy to your body. Allow the rhythm of your breath and the breath through the nostrils to bring a feeling of calmness, of peace or joy. And for any areas that need attention physically, guide your awareness to that space and breathe in a sense of openness to that space. And breathe out any tension that you're holding on to. Then after taking care of yourself, begin to move into your controlled yoga breathing. Begin to inhale more deeply and exhale completely. Allow that deep breath to become even. And smooth. Continue to practice this yoga breathing, this diaphragmatic breath. Getting used to the feeling, because that's the breath you're going to carry through your practice today. And as you continue to practice this breathing, I want you to begin to think about your knee. That's the area we're going to focus on today. The knee marks the meeting place of 3 bones: the shin bone, the thigh bone, and the kneecap. That would be the tibia, the femur, and the patella. There's 2 crescent-shaped pads of cartilage, the meniscus, that sit between the shin and the thigh bone, and they act as a cushion or almost as a shock absorber, right, between the 2 bones when we move. Then there's 2 sets of ligaments, the cruciates and the collaterals, and they strap all 3 of those bones together. The cruciates kind of crisscross below the kneecap, and the collaterals run along the outside of the kneecap. So the substantial muscles of the legs are what help keep these ligaments properly aligned, which allow the bone to be properly aligned. The muscle supports for those are your hamstrings and your quads. So we're going to work some leg work today, right? So when we have a muscle contraction on both sides of the knee, it must be balanced, because if one side is stronger than the other, it's going to pull you out of alignment, which is going to wear out the bone on one side or the other of the knee. So that's why we really want to focus on keeping those muscles strong and balanced. So that's what we're going to do today, and just proper alignment of the knee. So when you feel ready, keeping that in mind, we're going to start to bring some movement to the body. So bring some movement to your fingers, your toes, wiggle them, your head, your neck. Then when you're ready on your next inhale, we're going to open up to a full body symmetrical stretch. Reach out with the soles of your feet. Reach back with your fingertips. See if you can wiggle out another 1/2 inch between your vertebrae. Now on your next exhale breath, we're going to pull the right knee into the chest and hold it there. So grab a hold around your shin, pull it in a little bit. Sort of sink into the hip here. Let it just loosen up, soften as you hold. And then we're going to take that right hand to the top of the right knee. Let's start to guide that knee in a big circle. So we're going to take it out to the side. Pull it in toward you, cross it over a bit, and then push it away. So see how much movement you can get here, just guiding your knee in that circle. So of course the knee really isn't moving. It's that movement in the hip joint. So just kind of pay attention to that feeling. That ball and socket joint just rotating in the socket. Now let's take that movement the other way. One more time around. Now, when you come back to center, let's clasp both hands around the leg, the shin, just below the knee. Pull that leg in again. What I want you to think about now is we're going to create some resistance here to work those muscles. So we're going to press the shin into the hands and pull the hands into the shin to create that resistance. In 3, 2, 1, press. Keep breathing. And release. Nice. Let's send that leg long and hug the left knee in. So let's just hang out here, squeezing that left knee, thigh toward the chest, the belly, right? Just hold it in there. Just release first in the hip, pressing out through the right leg now. So that should feel kind of good, that stretch in that right leg, right across that hip flexor. That should feel good. Now let's take that left hand to the knee, and we're going to start to guide that left knee in a big circle. rotating through the hips. Try to get as much movement here as you can, just guiding it with your hand. Now let's take it the other way. Last one. Once you're back at center, let's hold on beneath that left knee, right around the shin. Draw the leg toward you, right? That thigh a little bit closer to the belly. Now we're going to think about creating that resistance again in 3, 2, 1, press. Really push them into each other. Try to imagine that you're trying to straighten that leg to the ceiling, but your hands aren't letting it go. Your leg might even shake a little. You're pushing hard enough. And release. Nice. Let's open that leg out. So full body symmetrical stretch. Reach out, grab an inch or so between the vertebrae here. Wiggle yourself long. Couple of deep breaths. Next exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Little massage for the low back here. All right, now let's return to center here. We're going to keep the feet off the floor. Create a 90-degree angle with your legs, right? So the knees are directing right up toward the ceiling. Those ankles are directing right out from the knees. Rest your hands on your thighs here. So we're going to do the same thing again, creating some resistance. This time we're going to push. So we're going to push into the thighs with the hands and push the thighs into the hands to create that resistance. This is called a dead bug. So when you're ready, prepare in 3, 2, 1, go. Press. So push them into each other, really engaging the core here, low back, pushing into the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Hug those knees into your chest. Rock side to side. So you should already feel like you're building some heat, right? We're working a lot of strength. And we don't even have to get off the floor to do it, right? So you can work hard, whether you're on the floor or standing on your knees. All right, let's try one more. So we're going to do that dead bug again. So create your 90-degree angle. Rest those hands on the thigh. In 3, 2, 1, press. Push them into each other. And release. Hug those knees into your chest. Rock side to side. All right, now let's plant the feet back to the floor. About hips width apart. This is where we're going to use our block here now. All right, so take your block or whatever you're using as that prop. We're going to place it between the thighs. Heels are going to come nice and close to the buttocks. We're going to start to work our bridge pose. So this is going to help us become aware of that feeling of always directing the knees out right from the hips, right? It's going to play some about hips width apart naturally. So gripping that block with the thighs, rest your arms alongside you and reach your fingers toward your heels. We're going to press down into the feet, grip the block with your thighs, and on your inhale, lift the hips up nice and high. Press them toward the ceiling, holding onto that block. Now exhale, slowly roll down the spine. Try not to let that block fall. Once the hips touch and you get to your next inhale, we're going to squeeze the block, press all the way up with those hips toward the ceiling. Exhale, roll down the spine. Nice. Continue to move with your own breath, lifting those hips on the inhale. Exhale, rolling down the spine. Don't go too fast there. Lay down the vertebrae of the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Use control. Those legs are going to want to try to pull away from that block. Don't let them. Looks good. Now the next time you lift, let's hold it. Keep on breathing. Maybe you can tuck a shoulder blade and then the other beneath you, lifting your chest a little higher. Perhaps you can interlace your fingers behind your back or beneath you, pressing the arms into the floor. Find a variation that you can hold for a few more breaths. All right, let's prepare to release. Shoulders first. Plant your arms. Exhale. Roll down the spine. Using your core. Hold on to that block. All right, now let's hold on to the block still. Don't let go. Take your arms out wide, chest height or shoulder height. We're going to take a little twist here, keeping the block between the thighs. So let's scoot our hips just a little bit over to the left. Rest them to the floor. Then drop the legs over toward the floor on the right. Try to keep that block between the thighs and try to stack your legs as best you can here. You can turn your gaze to the left. So this is just keeping those hips in alignment as we hold this twist. Nice. Let's return back to center. Don't let go of that block. Scoot those hips, shift them off to the right a little bit. Let the knees fall to the left. Keeping them stacked as best you can. Notice your shoulder blades, trying to keep them released to the floor. Nice. Return back to center. You can remove the block here. Let's hug those knees back into the chest again. Rock side to side. Now just take a roll to whatever side feels natural. Rest there for just a moment in fetal pose. Knees bent. Your head can rest on that bottom arm. Sort of rest and reset here, tuning back in to the 3 anchors of mindfulness. Notice what you're feeling. Notice any energy sensations in the hips, the legs, right? We already worked them pretty hard, so you might already feel that little tingle of energy in those areas. When you're ready, we're going to press up and shift into tabletop pose. So make your adjustments in tabletop, then bring the toes together to touch. Knees are wide. Press your sit bones back. We're going to slide into a wide leg child's pose. Soften your forearms. Soften your forehead to the floor. Tune into your breath against the thighs. Now on your next inhale, we're going to rise up to our tabletop. So set up your tabletop. Grip the floor with your whole hand, fingertips, knuckles at the base of the fingers, the palms of the hands. Knees are beneath the hips. Shins are pressing into the floor. You're lengthening your spine. Turning on your abs, hips to ribs, ribs to hips. Now let's begin in 3, 2, 1, press. Hold it here, keep breathing. Make it active. When you get to your next inhale, let the sit bones open. Belly's gonna lower. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Take your cow pose. Exhale, press into cat, drawing the navel to the spine. Chin to the chest. Feel the shoulder blades open. Now continue that movement with your own breath. Every inhale takes you to cow. Every exhale takes you to cat. Let the movement, or let the breath guide the movement. So that might mean slowing that movement down pretty significantly, right? Be deliberate in your movement. Next exhale. Send the sit bones back to your heels. Take child's pose again, extended. This time the knees are either together or hips width apart, not wide. Soften the forehead toward the floor. Walk those fingers a little farther if you can. Get a beautiful stretch in your shoulders. All right, let's rise back up to our tabletop. So we're going to spend some time on our knees today. Let's start first again by establishing that tabletop. Let's send the right leg back nice and long. All right, so hip height or lower. We're not lifting it to the ceiling. Then we're going to begin to bend the knee, heel toward the buttocks, and then straighten. Bend the knee, heel toward buttocks, and straighten. So what I want you to pay attention to here is making sure there's not a lot of movement in the thigh. All right, the thigh is staying steady. That movement is happening right at the knee joint. And that knee is pointing down toward the floor. All right, one more. Pull that knee in toward, or heel toward the buttocks and hold. Turn on your abs. Pull that heel toward the buttocks. Working that hamstring, stretching the thigh. Nice. Lengthen and lower down. Press the sit bones back. Child's pose, just one breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Inhale back to tabletop. Send that left leg long. So square off those hips. Remember, all 5 toes here are pointing down toward the floor. Turn on your abs, because if you don't, you're going to feel your low back here. So make sure your abs are on. Bend the knee, heel toward buttocks, and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Thigh nice and steady. Bend and straighten. Last one. Bend and hold. And straighten. Beautiful. You should feel that. You should be ready to go back to a child's pose. Go ahead and take it. All right, back up to that tabletop. A little bit more work. You're going to love this, I promise. Let's take that right leg back again. Okay, engage here, press in, bend the knee, heel toward the buttocks. Now we're going to think about just a tiny lift up. So imagine you're trying to lift the sole of your foot and your thigh to the ceiling. Tiny movement, abs on, don't overstretch or arch that low back, and then back to neutral. Little mini lift and lower. Little mini lift and lower. Little lift and lower. Last one, lift and hold. Push the floor away with your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen and lower. Let's see if we can switch sides now. So let's take the left leg long. bend the knee, flex the foot, turn everything on here, make yourself nice and strong, little lift and neutral, little lift and neutral, little lift. See how small of a movement that is. Neutral, little lift, neutral. Last one, little lift and hold. 5, breathe. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Back to neutral, lengthen. Give yourself that break. Take a child's pose, or maybe you feel like you would rather shift forward to a crocodile. Know that that's always an option too. Little wiggle of the hip side to side. So you choose the variation that's going to give you the most release. All right, back up to tabletop. Let's take that right leg back. Bend the knee. Then we're going to rotate it out to the side and down. Up and back. Out to the side and down. So those little hip circles. Up and back. Out to the side and down. All right, now let's reverse that direction. Take it out to the side, rotate up and back and down. Out to the side, rotate up and back and down. Last one. And release. All right, so we're going to prepare for the other side. Take that left leg back. Bend the knee. Out to the side, down. Lift it up and back. Out to the side, down, up and back. Out to the side, down, up and back. 2 more. Reverse the direction. Rotate. Beautiful. Release. Take your release pose. Child's pose or crocodile. All right, back to tabletop. Here we go. Let's take that right leg back. Bend the knee. Now remember that out to the side motion? Take it there. Hold it. See if you can keep that knee about hip height. Now we're going to try to straighten the knee and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Last one. Straighten. Let's hold. Breathe. And release. Sit bones back. Quick child's pose. Take a big breath in. And out. Inhale, take your tabletop. All right, left leg, bend the knee, rotate it out to the side. Let's begin. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Last one, straighten and hold. And bend that leg in, lower down. This time, let's all shift forward to crocodile pose. Take a little recovery. Now plant the hands alongside the chest. Send your sit bones back toward your heels. Let's take that child's pose. And let's flow a little bit to stretch out those hip flexors. So we're going to inhale, shift forward. Let the hips sink. Open up. Nice. This should feel good. Exhale, press those sit bones back. Inhale, come on forward. Sink the hips. Big, beautiful stretch. And back. Couple more. Last one. Let's hold it. Grip the floor. Remember those hands. The whole hand is pushing in, gripping in. Draw the shoulders back. Turn on your abs. Let those hips sink. Nice. Exhale. Back to child's pose. This time, take your arms alongside your legs. Give yourself a little rest here. All right, let's rise up. So now we're going to work on our downward dog. So those of you that joined me for downward dog, I'm going to offer you a different variation. Those of you that work the tabletop variation, pressing back into one heel and then the other, you're just going to stay with that, okay? So we're going to do downward dog twice. So we'll take a break in child's pose after, and then same thing for the ones that are doing it from tabletop, and then we'll do it another time. So 2 times we're going to do it. So if you're going to start working from tabletop, you can begin. Those of you that want to try the variation with down dog, we're going to grab our blocks, place them between the thighs. All right, that's going to place your knees hips width apart. Plant your hands. You're going to roll your toes under, and you're going to press the sit bones up, gripping the block. So now your feet are hips width apart. Block is gripped between your thighs. You're on your tiptoes. On your inhale, I want you to bend the knees to just hover the knees just above the floor. And then exhale, press the sit bones high. See if you can release the heels toward the floor. Inhale, up on the toes, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly in, send the sit bones high. So it's like that bear pose to downward dog, holding the block the whole time. That's your challenge. Tabletops continue. Push into your hands. Really stretch that leg back if you're working from tabletop. Then switch. Press the heel back. All right. Those of you in downward dog, let's hold it. Press the heels back. Sit bones high. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back to your knees. You can get rid of the block. Everybody take a child's pose for a moment, a child's pose of choice. All right, so we're going to go back into it again. All right, this time we're going to try that downward dog without the block. So those in tabletop, you're going to continue again, alternate side to side, push into those hands, get some length. Those of you in the downward dog, let's try it without the block, but imagine that block is there. So knees hips width, roll the toes under, press the sit bones high. Imagine you're gripping that block with your thighs, so it's that little inward spiral, right? Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So tabletops, take your tabletop, and we're all going to gaze forward. Step up with one foot, then the other. Let's take a ragdoll pose, just hanging out here over those bent knees. You can sway side to side, swing the arms, nod the head, whatever you need here. Take a moment to just find a pose that's going to give you some release. When you're ready, keep the knees bent. Slowly roll up the spine. Once upright, let's take our mountain pose. So feet hips width. Let's start to stack those joints and put some energy into the feet. Soften your knees, abs on. Bring your shoulders back, shoulder blades down and in. Lengthen up through the back of the neck and just close your eyes. Reconnect to those 3 anchors of mindfulness. How do you feel in those areas now that you're on your feet? Next inhale, let's take the arms up overhead. Reach through your fingers, soften your shoulders. Now, firm up those abdominals again. Press your chest up, and let's see if we can bend the elbows this time. Almost like you want to touch those shoulder blades toward one another behind you. Open up here. Next inhale, rise upright. And on your exhale, forward fold flow. Long flat back, fingers brush. Inhale, rise. Firm belly as you come all the way up with a long flat back. Continue to move with your own breath. Remember, be very deliberate with your movement. Nice. Spine stays long. Beautiful. Looks great. All right, now we're getting ready to hold. So this time, come on down. Find your block or the floor, whatever you need here. Take a moment, shift that weight forward toward the toes and then back toward the heels. So you might need the block to give you that stability. That's going to help you know if you want the block or not. Then finally, even out the weight in that feet. Front to back, side to side. Pressing through the feet as you send your sit bones up a little bit higher. Exhale, lengthen down the spine, bringing your belly, your chest toward the thighs. Soften your head and neck. Just hold this Uttanasana for a moment. Scanning your body, notice where you feel the stretch. What muscles are working? What muscles are stretching? Where do you feel like you're holding on? Where do you feel open? Beautiful. Next inhale, firm it all up. Rise all the way back up. Nice. Exhale, hands come down. Now we're going to make a little shift in the position of our feet. So our big toes are going to come together to touch. Heels are pressing out. All right, so that pigeon-toed kind of feeling. So we're trying to get into all those muscles, right? All those leg muscles. We want to keep them all flexible and strong to help with that pull on the kneecap, right? That's our goal here today. Inhale, arms high. On your exhale, hinge. Long, flat back. Let the fingers brush. Inhale, rise up. Nice. Notice the difference. Notice the difference in the muscles, the way they're working. Notice the difference on your balance. If you still feel pretty steady, you might be able to close the eyes. If not, keep them open. It's the same idea here. Abs on so the spine stays long. On the next exhale, hold it here. Plant your hands on something. Now you might notice here, oh, I didn't need the block the first way, but now I feel like I do. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's like, oh, the first time I always have to have the block. This time I feel like I can come down and maybe settle in with the hands on the floor. Notice any differences like that. Notice where you're feeling this pose. Where's the challenge this time with that change in the position of the feet? Breathe into the challenge, right? Wherever you feel it. Guide your breath to that space. See if it can open you up a little bit. And on the exhale, soften it up a little bit. All right, last breath here. Next inhale, rise all the way back up. Beautiful. And release those arms. Nice. All right, let's shake out the legs a little bit. Your legs are really going to be talking to you tomorrow, I have a feeling. I know mine have been all week with teaching this sequence. All right, so now let's bring the heels together to touch. We get to be ballerinas for a moment. Toes pointing out to the sides a bit, right? About 45 degrees. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise. How is it different now? How's your balance now? Is that any different? Let's notice. All right, we're going to hold the next time down. Plant your hands. Do you or do you not need the block this time? All right, let's inhale, rise up. Nice. Exhale, hands to the hips. Feet turn back to 12 o'clock. We're going to take a step over with the left foot over the right. And then we're going to reach up and over to the left. So that right arm is reaching up and out. So you're sort of pressing now into that right foot and pushing your hip out for the IT band, right? Stretching right across the hip down the side of your leg. Nice. Return to center. Switch sides. So there can be a little bend in that right leg. Pressing into the left foot, reach up and over. Press out with your hip. Inhale, return to center, unwind. Let's take our hands to heart. Close your eyes. Take a moment, rest and reset. We're going to prepare for Sun A. Let's begin. Inhale, arms high. Press up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Get some length in the spine here. Activate your upper back. Remember, staple those shoulder blades in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, step back with your right foot. Then your left. So take your plank pose. That might mean knees up for you. It might mean knees to the floor. Either one is fine. Grip the floor with your whole hand. Feel the space between your shoulder blades. Turn your abs on. Those of you with knees lifted, press your heels to the wall behind you. So every muscle should feel like it's engaged in this pose. Next, exhale, rock forward, lower down through push-up or through knees. Point the toes behind. Inhale, lift your chest. Back of the neck is long, so gaze just out in front of your mat. Lift your hands, pull the elbows in toward the ribs, and then drag them back. Exhale, lower down. From here, you're either going to take a child's pose or you're going to roll your toes under. Prepare, kneecaps lift off the floor. Exhale, push the floor away to plank. Send the sit bones high to down dog. So it's plank to down dog or child's pose to tabletop. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Take a step up with your right foot, then your left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Big breath in. And out. All right, next side, one movement, one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left foot, then right. Choose your plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra again. Don't let those feet pull off the floor. Exhale, lower. Child's pose or roll the toes under. Prepare, plank to down dog. Now child's pose to tabletop. Let's all gaze to the top of the mat. Step up with your left foot, then your right. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a big breath in. Let it go. A big breath in and out. All right, let's do one more time each side. One movement, one breath. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right foot, then left. Exhale, rock forward, lower down. Inhale, choose your cobra this time. Exhale, lower. Child's pose or prepare. Exhale, plank to down dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Step up right, then left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Breath in. Let it go. Breath in. And out. Begin the last side, the left side on your own. Doing your own variation here. Meeting in mountain pose. When you're done, move with your own breath. Very nice, everyone. Everybody ended at different times, so that means you're just moving with your own breath. Perfect. All right, so now let's begin our sun B. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, lower. Inhale to chair pose. Sit bones down and back. Arms extend or come to heart. Little tuck of the tail, weight in the heels. Lift your gaze, lift your chest. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, fold down. We're going to take a step back with the right foot on the inhale. Exhale, down to the knee. Here's where you want to check your knee. Stacked over the ankle. You can always see your big toe. Some space between the knees, little tuck of the tail, sink of the hips, arms lift. Exhale, lower down. We're going to step back to that plank pose. Choose your plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down. This time on your inhale, choose your cobra. You can come up a little higher if you like. Exhale, lower down. Child's pose or prepare, plank to down dog. All right, child's pose and tabletop. We're all going to lift the right leg high. So from tabletop, 3-legged table or 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack your hip. Just trying to open up that hip a little bit, stretch the quad. Now realign those hips. Hold for the exhale. On the inhale, step that foot up between the hands. So get that foot there whatever way you can. Lower down to the left knee. Let's bring our hands to the thigh. Remember, we're checking in on that knee. Then tuck the tail, sink the hips. So that knee shouldn't be splaying out to the side, right? Or turned inward. We want it right at center. Inhale, arms high. Now let's exhale, plant the hands. This is where you might like to use your blocks on the side. If you want to wiggle that foot just a little bit to center, you can bring both blocks underneath your hands here, lined up with the foot, or you can keep your hands on the floor. On your exhale, we're pressing the sit bones back, straightening that right leg, and then inhale, coming forward. So just moving a little bit through that knee joint, back, inhale, forward. Always trying to keep that knee nice and steady. Gentle movement. This is great to lubricate that knee joint, right? And it's gentle enough. All right. Now, next time we come back, we're going to hold it. So this is where we're going to pay attention to the knee. We want to make sure those muscles are pulling evenly on that knee. So let's flex the toes. Try not to let that knee turn outward to the side or inward. See if you can drag your leg bone back up into the hip socket. Just gaze. Equal energy, even energy on the sides of those legs. Notice your kneecap. See if it looks nice and centered. Nice. Inhale, come forward. So now we're going to take another little stretch here. So let's plant that right hand inside. Both hands are going to be inside that right foot now. We're going to walk that foot up and out. So this is another time you might like your block. So again, that knee is directing right out over the toes. That's when you're going to keep it safe. On your exhale, hinge down. You might want to just have your elbows bent here. If that's enough, stay there. If you can bring your forearms to a block at any height, you can go there. Maybe you're pretty flexible in the hip and you can bring those forearms to the floor. One variation is not better than the other. Choose the one that you want to stay with. What I want you to think about is lengthen the spine and that right knee hugging in close to that right shoulder for now. So a couple of breaths here. Just rest in that, pulling that knee in toward the shoulder. Nice. Now let's rise up, press into your hands. We're going to take a little outward rotation of the hip here. Only if it feels okay. See if you can come onto the outer edge of that right foot. Now we're not just creasing the ankle, right? We want to keep that knee and ankle lined up. So just a little movement, keeping that shin straight, knee, shin, ankle. Hold it here. It's a little different stretch for the hip and leg muscles here. Now I'm going to add one more variation, only if you want to try it. See if you can bend the back knee, bring the heel toward the buttocks. Right, so that left knee, heel toward the buttocks. And if that's okay, maybe you can take your right hand and reach back. Grab a hold of that left foot. So again, choose your variation. You don't have to do every one. Pick one. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Release, lower down. We're going to wiggle that right foot to center. Roll onto the ball of your back foot. And we'll press up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. That was beautiful. So we'll do the same thing to the other side after a couple of resting breaths. Big breath in. Let it go. Big breath in. And out. All right, let's take the left side. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, lower. Inhale, chair. Set it up. Get ready for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, fold. Take a step back with your left foot. Lower down to the knee. Tuck your tail, sink your hips. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down. Inhale, choose your cobra. Exhale, lower. Child's pose or prepare. Exhale, plank to down dog. Child's pose, return to tabletop, and we're going to take a 3-legged table or dog so that left leg lifts. Bend the knee, stack your hip. Let's realign those hips. Hold for the exhale. Inhale, step up between the hand, lower down to that right knee now. So let's check that alignment of the knee before we go any further, right? Want to make sure it's safe. Right over the ankle, right out from the hip. Tuck the tail, lift. Nice. Exhale, hands come down. Let's just wiggle that foot to center a little bit. Next exhale, press the sit bones back. Inhale, come forward. So let's just watch that knee as we move in and out of it, pulling evenly with all the muscles of the legs, right? Gentle movement for that joint. So good for that knee joint. All right, the next time we come back, we're going to hold it. So the first thing you want to do is see if you can flex the toes. Pull that femur bone, that leg bone, up and into that hip socket. Take a look at your knee. Is it turning outward? Is it turning inward? Should be directing right up toward the ceiling. Nice. Shift back forward. Stack that knee. Place both hands inside the foot. Wiggle that foot up and out. Just a little bit. Need the block? Grab it. If not, exhale, hinge. Come down onto your forearms somewhere on the block, any height, or to the floor. Hug your shoulder with that knee. All right, let's rise up. Press into your hands. They can be on the block or the floor, doesn't matter. We're just going to try to open that knee out a little bit to the side, any amount. See if you can just get any little stretch there. See how it feels. If it's not so great, come back to neutral here with that knee going right upright. But remember, you're looking for that straight line, ankle and knee. All right, now the last variation, if you want to try it, bending that right knee, heel toward the buttocks. Right away, you'll feel that in your quad, right, the front of the thigh. If that's okay, let's take that left hand and reach back. See if you can reach the foot or the pant leg, whatever. Little twisting, right? Little rotation here to the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come on back. Wiggle that foot back to center. We'll lift off of the back knee and then press up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Rest here for just a moment, hands at heart or at your sides. Close your eyes. Take a little bit of recovery here, right? Resting and reset. While you do that, I'm going to make a little shift in my camera so we can come against the wall for some wall work. All right. So now, spine to wall, bring your block with you. We're going to do some very challenging leg work here. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our blocks, place them right between the thighs, right, the long way. You're going to lean against the wall and step your feet at least a foot or so away from your wall. Then start by pressing your upper back, your shoulders back into the wall, turning your abs on. So now we're going to try to grip that block, so that kind of inward spiral of the thighs. Begin to slide down the wall. So you might find that you can come all the way down to about 90 degrees, but make sure you wiggle your feet forward if you need to. And if you need your mat, if your feet slip, go there. So press those shoulders into the wall. Grip that block. Don't let it slide. Turn on your abs, so press your low back into the wall. Let your arms hang. Don't rest them on your thighs. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide up. Take the block away, walk around, shake it out. So did everybody feel that? Thumbs up? Yeah? All right. That's what we want. So you should really be feeling that work. What that's doing is it's directing those knees right out from the hips. It's keeping us engaged, so we're always protecting the knees. We're using those muscles to support the knees. Very important, just building that leg strength. All right. So it's so great that we're going to do it again. So put that block there. All right. Step the feet away from the wall. Press your shoulders into the wall. Now begin, abs on, start to slide down the wall. Grip that block. Come down as low as you can, maybe parallel like you're sitting in a chair. Press your low back into the wall, shoulders. Now let's see if we can inhale the arms up high. Don't let the shoulders pull away. Don't let the low back pull away. For 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Ah, you should want to come out of that, right? I don't think I'm the only one that's like, let's not do that again. But we are going to do it again, only this time without the block. So just walk around, shake it out, hip circles. All right. So now let's try it one more time. This time without the block, but you're going to pretend that that block is there. So you know that feeling. All right. So feet step out, shoulders, low back. So abs on. Begin to slide down that wall. As soon as you get there, notice your knees. Are they directing right out from your hips? Imagine that block is between you. Press the low back into the wall and lift the arms. For 5, 4. Notice that low back. 3, 2, 1. Come on out. All right. Take your block with you, and we'll turn back to our mats. Try to make sure I'm still centered here. Okay. All right. So use that time to shake it out. All right. So a little more work with the block. So now we're going to take our block, do the same thing with the block between the thighs. This time we're going to work a chair pose. So let's place that block. So it's that same idea when you do chair pose, right? All those muscles are engaged. So press the block, squeeze it in, inhale your arms high. Ready? On your exhale, bend your knees, send your sit bones back. Bring your arms, extend them, or to heart. Little tuck of the tail, grip that block. Notice your knees directing right out from the hips. Isn't that beautiful? You can see your toes. Last breath. Nice. Now on your next exhale, keep that block there. Hinge. Take a forward fold. Gripping that block. Now let's hold the forward fold with that block, right? Press evenly into your feet. Spiral your thighs inward to grip that block. Feel your arches lift. Press your sit bones up and lengthen down the spine. Nice. Inhale, rise. All the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Now let's take that block out. Give yourself a shake. All right. So now we're going to work into our chair pose without the block. And we're just going to do one more activity here on our mat standing. And then we're coming down to the floor. All right. So let's take that chair pose. We know how to do it now. We got this. Exhale, bend the knees. Send the sit bones back. Hands to heart. Or to heart or reaching up. All right, now let's shift the weight into the right foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a step back with the left foot. We're going to take a crescent lunge. So here, check the knee. Stacked over the ankle. It's directing over the middle toe. You can see your big toe. Pull that right hip back, left hip forward. Arms high. Just 2 breaths here. Now bring your hands to your hips. We're going to work on this back leg. See if you can bend the knee, bring it toward the floor, and then straighten. Bend, just a little movement, and straighten. Last one, bend, hold, arms high. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands to hips, push off, step up. You should be feeling this, right? Are your legs talking to you yet? Maybe yelling at you a little bit? That's okay, as long as it's nothing sharp. Remember, pay attention to be kind to yourself. You know, on anything that doesn't feel right, you come out. All right, last side. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, pretend that block is between those thighs. Shift the weight into the left foot. Take a step back with the right. Pull that left hip back, right hip forward. Now make sure you make those adjustments, railroad track spacing. All right. Now let's take the hands to the hips. Bend the back knee and straighten. So that right knee is kind of staying steady. Bend and straighten. Last one, bend and hold. 5, 4, arms high. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Let's plant the hands here. Come down to one knee, then the other. Send the sit bones back. Take a child's pose of choice. You should really want this child's pose right now. Next inhale, let's shift forward a bit. Drop the hips. Open up the chest. Just give them a nice stretch here. All right, come on back. We're going to come on to our seats now. So we're just going to do one more stretch, and then we're pretty much done. We'll be on our backs. So what we're going to do is Supta Badakanasana, only we're going to do it, well, not Supta Badakanasana, it's Badakanasana because we're on our seats. So the soles of the feet together, we're going to work it in 3 positions, out further, halfway, and then all the way in. So bring the soles of your feet together. Let the knees fall open. Press down through your sit bones. So the feet are pretty far out here. On your exhale, hinge. Long, flat back. You can wrap your hands around your toes, around your ankles, long spine. Come to the edge just before the spine wants to round, and then soften your head. Notice where you feel the stretch. Inhale, rise up. Nice. Give your legs a little shake. All right. Now it's going to go the halfway point. So slide the feet in a little bit, about halfway. Grab on wherever you hold on to. Press down through your sit bones. And see if you can open your knees out a little wider. On your exhale, hinge. Lengthen, and then soften the head. So you can let the head hang. If you're low enough, you can even take a block, maybe rest the forehead on a block if that feels nice. You always have that option. And rise. All right, little shake again for those legs. This last time, we're going to bring them in as close as we can. So soles of the feet together, pull them in. Open the knees out nice and wide. Press down through your sit bones, lengthen the spine, exhale, hinge. So this time you might be able to use your elbows here even to kind of press those knees open a little wider, as long as it doesn't strain too much on the sides of the knees. So you're just looking for that little stretch here. Soften your head. And rise. Nice. Unwind the legs, plant the feet. Let's lean back with the hands behind us. Just shift the knees side to side. Release any tension. The next time the knees come to the right, swoop your left hand around, place it alongside your right hand. Little twist here. Then come back Take the knees over to the left. Let that right hand swing around and place it alongside your left hand. So a gentle twist here. Return back to center. Plant your feet, reach with your fingers, roll down your spine. As soon as your upper body touches the floor, bring your heels nice and close to your buttocks. Arms are reaching toward the toes on your inhale. Lift your hips up to a bridge pose. Take your best expression of your bridge pose here for 5 breaths. Remember to pay attention to those knees. They're directing right out from the hips. Remember that block, pretend it's there. Release the shoulders. Exhale, roll down the spine. Inhale, open up to a full body symmetrical stretch. Balance out the sides of your body. And now we're going to release into a Supta Badakanasana. So bring the soles of your feet together. If you have your blocks or your blankets, place them right underneath your thighs because we want this to be supported. All right, so you can rest there so the knees aren't falling open too wide. You can either rest your right hand on your belly, left at heart, or you can have your arms wide, palms up, little tuck of the chin. Now, if you find that after a time it doesn't feel so great in the Supta Badakanasana, you can always lengthen back out to your Shavasana pose. So you can choose. Let's settle in, close your eyes, and let your body begin to rest. Begin to feel the connection of your body to your mat, the contact points, the shadows, the spaces beneath you. Begin to notice the space above you by feeling the light touch of air on your skin, warm or cool. As your body begins to still in this pose, your mind begins to draw from the outward sensations inward. This allows you to become the observer of your own breath, each nourishing inhale as your belly rises and each cleansing exhale as your belly falls. With time, that breath becomes a bit deeper, more even and smooth. An unbroken stream that flows soundlessly and without pause. Carry that breath to the crown of your head and rest there. Breathe in relaxation and breathe out tension. Carry that same breath downward to your forehead, breathing in relaxation and out tension. To your eyebrows and eyes. Resting for a moment now at the base of the nostrils to feel the movement of the breath there, warm and cool with each exhale and each inhale. Continuing downward through the muscles of your face, your throat, your neck from top to bottom. Release outward across your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips. Allow any tension to flow outward through the fingertips. Move on now to the muscles of your upper chest and soften there. Release downward across your rib cage to your abdomen, from your upper back, down the length of your spine to your tailbone. Feel the muscles of your middle and low back begin to let go as your upper body sinks deeper and deeper into relaxation. Breathe in relaxation and breathe out tension. Continue further downward with your breath to soften the muscles around your hips. Feel the weight of your thigh bones become heavier and heavier as your thigh muscles surrender their hold. Continue downward across your knees, shins, calves, ankles, feet, and toes. Allow your whole body to relax now from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Any last bits of tension flowing outward through the feet. You're now as relaxed as you want to be. Enjoy this feeling of total relaxation in your body for just a few moments more. Notice your muscles. Your breathing. And how it feels to have a calm, still mind. Peace. 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 Now, when you feel ready, take a moment to begin to reawaken slowly. Begin to bring some movement to your fingers, your toes, your head and neck. Then gently rub the palms of your hands together. Place the warmed hands over your eyes and open your eyes to the warmth and energy of your own hands. Slowly draw your hands down and let in the light of day. Take a moment, massage your temples if needed, or stretch out. Maybe hug the knees in, whatever you feel like is natural. And then finally, before rising to your seat, take just a moment to roll to the right side of your body. Just rest there for a moment. Allow the weight of your body to melt away from your heart. Let your heart feel light. When you feel ready to return to your seat, take a moment to rise slowly and carefully. Just a moment of gratitude to your body for bringing you to your mat, for moving you through the poses, and allowing you a moment of stillness. And a moment to acknowledge the positive energy that each of us has brought into this space today. And together we say, Namaste. Thank you.